Hey, what's up, guys? This is a video on some more convenient, more normal ways to charge your Yaesu handheld radio. I've got a FT3 here, but this would also work with the FT5 and also the FT70. These are great radios. They have a ton of different capability, which is why I like to take mine with me when I travel. But unfortunately, they are notorious for not having the best battery life, and they're very, very slow to charge with the Yaesu chargers. This is a follow-up video to a video that the Smoking Ape did. He met somebody at the Dayton Ham Fest who showed him this. He thought it was so cool that he did a video. I'm using the same products, which I'll link in the description. These are from Amazon. And basically, what we're talking about here is a PD charging cable. Okay, so what's really cool and unique about this one is you've got the barrel type plug on one end that the Yaesu radio takes, but on the other end we have a USB-C. So that's going to open up a lot of options for us. Okay, but there's something very important to know here. Okay, so this is a warning. This PD cable that's linked, you'll notice it's 100 watt. Okay, so that is 20 volts. All right, 100 watts is pulling 20 volts at 5 amps. So if the charger is capable of giving this cable 20 volts, it'll give it 20 volts, okay, which is too much for the radio. That will damage the radio. The charging maximum voltage for the FT70, FT3, FT5 is 16 volts. Okay, same for operating voltage. Can't go over 16. All right, that's according to the current Yaesu operating manuals. This cable will do up to 20 if the charger will do up to 20. Okay, so that will damage the radio. Okay, so disclaimer, you've been warned, not my fault if you fry your radio. Okay, and I actually just wanted to show that to you guys. One reason that I wanted to do this video was to use a meter so we can see what the actual voltages are, what the current's at, and add some other ideas in as well. But one thing we can do here is verify that this is no good. Okay, so no FT3 on this guy. This is an Apple brand 30 watt charger. This will do 20 volts. So let's see what happens. We're going to plug it in. Let's plug our meter in. And now we will take our PD cable, which I am not going to plug into the radio. Okay, so not plugged in. And let's go ahead and plug that into the charger, and yep, sure enough, 20 volts. Okay, so that's no bueno. Okay, that will damage the radio. All right, so you have been warned. Do not use 20 volt chargers with this. You just want to use up to 12. Okay, so the charger that Ape featured in the video is this one right here. This is a Alkin, something like that. You can see it's got a PD USB-C out. So let's go ahead and plug that guy in. And we'll plug our meter in here. And plug our PD charging cable in. All right, 12.2 volts, that's good. So that should be fine to charge a radio. Again, according to Yaesu, charging voltage range on the FT3 and the FT5 is 10.5 up to 16. So that's within the range. Should be good to go. And it's over 11 volts, which is the minimum for the FT70. So it should work on the FT70 as well. Let's go ahead and plug it in and see what happens here. Awesome. All right, now charging. So it is charging the radio, and looking at our meter here, 12.2 volts at about 0.37, 0.38 amps, so not bad. So at that rate, it will probably take about 4 or 5 hours, maybe 6 hours to charge battery, depending on what the state of the battery is, which is definitely going to be faster than the 8 to 9 hours with the Yaesu charger. And of course, the whole point of this is the convenience factor, right? So this charger can now be your primary charger, your main go-to charger that will charge your phone, your tablet, and also now your radio, because you have this cable. So you can leave all of the Yaesu chargers at home, The cradle, I believe, charges faster because it's direct to the battery. We know it slows to the radio. And that's just a lot of stuff to carry around, a lot of different chargers. So now you can consolidate it all down just into one charger. And I did do some testing on this one. If you guys are curious, on the iPhone, it charged at 5.1 volts, which is normal. That was about 1.2 amps. It jumps around a little bit, but on average it was about 1.2, which is fine. That's perfectly normal. That's about as good as anything else would do. And on the iPad, it charged at 12.2 volts at 1.3 amps, so also not bad. So now, if you're traveling or out hiking or just doing whatever you're doing, you can just bring one or two of these and bring your PD cable, and then bring your normal charging cable for your iPhone and iPad, and you've got everything covered. So the cross compatibility really makes this more convenient. We can have less stuff and still charge. So the other thing I wanted to look at was some of these smaller chargers. These are Anchor chargers. Got a Anchor PD and an Anchor IQ, just to see what those would do. So let's plug in the PD charger here, take a look at it, and we've got 8.91, 8.92 volts. Okay. So according to Yaesu, that's not going to be enough to charge any of the radios. Let's go ahead and plug it in here just to confirm that. And yep, no charging. Okay. So as to be expected, that is not going to work. Okay, but there is something pretty interesting that I noted here. The operating voltage from the external jack on the FT3 is as low as 6. Okay, so in theory this should at least operate the radio. It may not charge it, but it should operate it. So I'm going to pull the battery out. Let's go ahead and plug it in and see if this will power up. Boom, there it is. All right, so that is cool. So even though these smaller chargers that are under the 10.5 volt mark here will not charge the FT3 or the FT5, they will operate the FT3 or the FT5. So as long as you have this cable with you, even if you have another charger that won't charge the radio, it will at least operate the radio. So that does give you some capability there, which is pretty cool. And also, just to take a look at the Anchor IQ, about the same, right at 9, just right at 9 volts. Okay, so again, will not charge radio, but it definitely will operate the radio. And another note here for FT5 owners, you'll notice that it'll operate as low as 4. So most mobile devices, iPhone, stuff like that, are going to charge at 5. So if you have a 5 volt USB-C charger, that will not charge or operate the FT3 or the FT70 for that matter, but it will operate the FT5. It won't charge the FT5, but it will operate the FT5. So even if you have just a eensy-beensy weak little charger, you can still operate the FT5. So one thing that I was wondering about after watching Abe's video was, can we do this with a battery bank? Because obviously if we're traveling, we've got a battery bank. Most battery banks are going to max out at 9 volts output, which in theory would operate the radio, but it's not going to charge it, and I would want a way to charge it. So I found this Enegon brand on Amazon, and I will link that, and it advertises that it will do 12 volts out. You've got a battery level display here and a USB-C out. So let's plug this in and see what it does. All right, 12 volts, 11.9, 12 volts. Perfect. So that should charge the radio. So let's see what happens when we plug it in. That is awesome. Perfect. So now, even on the go, just plug it in, throw it in your pack, whatever. You can now charge your FT70, FT3, or FT5 from this battery bank. All right, and that's charging at about 0.36, 0.37 amps, which is not bad. So it's actually charging pretty quick too. So definitely cool having that extra capability just because you have this PD cable. Pretty cool. And this particular battery bank is a 10,000 milliamp hour, so that should charge the standard FT3, FT5 battery, what, like 4 times, 4.5 times, something like that. And just for S&Gs here, just for fun, all right, let's say your battery's dead. You do not have time to charge it, but you need to operate the radio, and you've got your battery pack. So again, battery removed, external power source. Okay, there we go, external DC. And let's go ahead and see if it'll power up here. Outstanding. That is awesome. Okay, so now we know that we can operate the radio as well from this external battery bank with the PD cable. So again, a lot of extra capability just from having this PD cable. All right, so that's pretty much it, guys. Again, just wanted to put that warning in there. Do not use a charger that is above 12 volts with this PD cable. Okay, technically you could go to 16, but I'm not aware that they make those. But do not exceed 16. Do not use a 20 volt charger. It will damage the radio. Hopefully this is helpful. If you have any questions, just put them in the comments. I'll try to check and answer it to the best of my ability. But other than that, guys, take care and stay safe.